Hey everyone, and welcome back to Jaraci Cup number 4. Going to be continuing coverage now of the upper bracket with the semifinals game between myself and Descara, who's actually going to join me in casting. So, there you go.
Yeah, and we're gonna start the cast by going through our info.txt, which is like the list of faction pick and map picks, because I think it's actually really impactful, especially in this series.
Yes,
There's
and
a
also
lot of
these games are going to
thought.
start up really fast. So if we try to read them during the gameplay, it's probably not going to go well.
Yeah, all
Well,
right.
I am lower seed for this one. Technically, Descara and I tied, and I had won the last tournament, so I won by tiebreakers. So I
Yeah,
picked no. Descara has first faction pick. He takes coalition. I picked Bozocow. Or I am Bozocow. I picked Galzian. Nothing particularly surprising there.
Shrike with the harsh words in chat.
Although actually, that's an interesting point, but I'll get to it later. We'll cast the game first.
Yeah.
Now, for my ban though, I banned the Shallows, and I think that's actually a mistake looking at things. You can
Yeah.
perhaps enlighten us as to why.
Well, so there is this one specific build that Bozocow has done versus me, where he sits on the high ground overlooking the defender's third, which is on the right from the defender starting on shallows. And there's this awful, awful. Did I say awful? I meant awful high ground. Um, Overlooking the third, which also has high ground on the defender's high ground. Because shallows is all about this defensive high ground, but this high ground is even higher. It's the highest of high grounds.
It's over,
Um,
Descara. I have the high ground.
Pretty much.
Well, and not only that, but there's actually a base behind it, and so if you get ref mode, you can see your PC there and mine off of your opponent's fourth.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
it's insane.
It's highly offensive. But yeah, so if you sit on that high ground, you create a lot of threats. And the thing that the way that rail rushes work against coalition, like Gaussian rail rush versus coalition defense, is that you need to build up rail numbers. Coalition railguns are worse than Gaussian ones. So you sit back, kind of try to mine off two bases if possible. But if the Gaussian is able to expand behind it and get up to two base, then you're still in this like really threatening position where you want to get on your third, but if the Gaussian player gets range calibration, you can't even be on your defensive high ground. So yeah, that is an extremely potent build, and I think it's the strongest thing on the shallows actually, and I don't like that map particularly in terms of playstyle, uh, like what you need to play on it, but it is very good for my playstyle, like for my eco playstyle. Um,
So,
but just
knowing that Descara wanted to ban Shallows, for this reason, I probably should have been thinking about that and not banned it myself. That would have saved me a ban and taken his
yeah,
away, but
exactly. So
yeah.
Bozocow bans shallows, and I'm just like, yes, my ban, I get a free ban. Already ahead.
And so he's going to ban Torin Crater. Now, if I had banned Kalash Teeth, which is probably what I would have wanted to do, that would have been nice. He wouldn't have been able to ban Torin, but Kalash didn't show up in the map rotation anyway, so this is still okay
Yeah.
for me. This is not going to be like a huge issue.
Yeah, and the reason I banned Torrent Raider is obviously because it's, in my opinion, massively Gaussian favored. There are some styles you can do on it, quite aggressive styles as Coalition, that kind of tries to wrestle that back. You can go AV into support cruiser into strike fighters, and that's really good for map control and for tempo. But if the Galcian player or the Canif player gets up onto artillery, then it's pretty much GG.
It's bad times.
Uh,
Bad times.
it's bad times. Canif can sit behind the dune or the mountain rather that covers the main, create a lot of threat and nuke the main with their carrier,
Yeah.
whereas Galcian can build his cheap ass freaking artillery siege cruisers and just barrage the main.
In fact, I think I won a game
Could
like
be
that before
interesting,
against
actually.
you.
Game is saying. I still haven't found a way to work them into my playstyle. Um, so that's something I need to do. But
It's
yeah,
gonna hurt against
so
Conf too if I just get power in the missiles, but you can probably get away with it. I don't know.
yeah, they
Although,
are
actually,
quite
that's one
funky.
thing. I said that the faction picks were pretty simple. It was always going to be CVG, but thinking about it, actually, my plan in this series was just like, I was tired of playing like macro games. I felt like you were always going to beat me in those, and so I was just like, screw it. We're just going to attack him every single time. We're just going to rail rush him until he
Hmm.
dies, or I die, right? And
Yeah, I
thinking
think
about that, Conf is probably better for this with the speed
yeah,
boost and the blast drones and whatever.
I agree. It would have forced me to go LAV openers, and I'm really shit at microing LAVs. So shit. So even like that already is a win. Uh, but yeah.
What do you mean? My plan was perfect, A game. Anyway,
Uh,
walk us through
so
the pick of Firebase Cruello. What was the idea here?
yeah, so Bozocow especially is a player who does a lot of mind games. For anyone watching who doesn't know that, um, he can just go greedy as fuck, and you need to be so on top of your scouting to know what's going on. You need to match that greed or pressure it, and pressuring Gaussian greed is actually quite difficult. So usually matching is the better option, but that can also backfire. And so I want to set the tone for this series by going for one of my most recent builds, and now one of my favorite builds in terms of aggression, which is AV Rush. Yeah, I mentioned it on Torrent. AV Rush into support cruiser into strike fighters. It creates so much pressure. Um, and the obvious choice for that is Kalash Teeth. It's small for an air map, but AVs do great on it, but it's too obvious. Like, you know your opponent is
Right,
gonna
yeah.
expect AVs on Kalash. So I can't pick Kalash for this build. I can pick it for a macro build. Uh, but Krill is quite a good map still for AVs, but it's not as obvious that you're
True.
gonna go AVs on it.
Yeah, a
So
lot
yeah,
of little
that
line of sight blockers here and there. It's actually always surprisingly easy to get up on the main on this map, so AVs
yeah
tend
you
to do
can
pretty well.
yeah you can flank onto the main. You can have around the natural, hide behind this nice fat June, blocking like the outer portion of the natural expansion. Hide from railguns there. Lots of situations to create threat. And then you pick Titan, right?
Yes.
So what's your thoughts there?
So my main reason for picking tight end passage is that there's a lot of error behind the enemy's carrier, and I had this idea. I am going to rail rush in game 2, but I'm going to keep my base runner, and if I manage to snipe his probe, which is a little bit coin flippy, but if I can do it, then he's not going to know it's coming, and I'll just suddenly show up behind him, and that should really just be the game. If
And
the
you
probe
mean
scouts me, though, I'm still competitive here, and I have a lot of
yeah,
artifacts that are getting out. I can come in with my carrier halfway through the game.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. By show up behind, you mean show up with your carry, right?
No, actually. So on tight end passage, this the production cruiser can get behind your base without you even seeing it.
Ah, you mean like that?
Exactly. Yeah. And so if I'm able to snipe the probe there, that could almost be like a guaranteed win for me in some senses.
Yeah, it's like you really don't want to be building more probes when you're defending. That's not not what you want to do. So
No.
um, it is heavily reliant on sniping probe. So it's
Mhm.
a yeah, it's a gamble as Tasteless would say. Uh, so yeah, and then you picked Gaussian territories, if I'm not mistaken.
Indeed. And this is just a good rail map in general. So again, I was still sticking with this strategy, like this strategy or die. So I was like, okay, Gaussian territories. That's kind of the obvious pick here.
Yeah, it's good for all kinds of aggression. Like the dunes around the main are quite awkward to defend assault ships on because there's no natural place to put your turret. And
And there's like high ground coming into it as well.
exactly. It's awful when you have rails on this high ground looking over your main, and like if you fuck up your turret placement and it's not exactly on top of the dune you're on, ugh,
Game
yeah,
over, dude.
exactly. So it's very very awkward to defend on in that sense.
Well, I knew that I was going to be doing one PC builds now, so your pick of the Boneyard made me pretty happy. But what were you thinking there? Is it just your favorite map, or did you have something in mind?
Mostly my favorite map.
Yeah,
I was kind of thinking maybe I should put Kalash here to either throw in the AV rush again or just go eco. Because one thing about Kalash that people don't realize is that for Coalition, it's one of the most defensible maps.
yeah,
SC first can defend anything. You put your SC on your main, your BR stays there. You have this great spot for putting a turret with a wide freaking field of fire covering two approaches. Then your carrier goes to natural, can also cover the main approach, like the one going through the middle of that. But I still felt like it was too obvious of a pick. So Boneyard is like I don't mind defending PC rushes there. I think
right.
it's fine. It's a good map for one production assault ship, especially, and for one production cruiser railguns as well. But I don't mind it. Like shallows, I fucking mind. but
Yeah,
but boneyards, I'm fine. I'm fine. Um, what was your final pick again?
it was going to be Kartoba, which I think is a really good one for one PC rails, as we talked about in our last cast.
Yeah, yeah, it has the same kind of awkward Dune as Galcian territories, wide open fields of approach for aggressing railguns. It's not a map you want to be defensive on. It's not a good
Indeed.
time.
No, not at all. So as you can see, then it's going to be one PC rail from me every single game. Basically, that's yes. I legitimately plan to do it 5 times in a row. And I think looking back on it, yeah, this is a little silly because a lot of my strength, like descara mentioned, is that I can mind game, and this kind of takes that away. But
Yeah.
you know, hey, I figured it would be more fun anyway. And I didn't want to fight you in the macro game because I'd been losing against this fairly frequently before that. So.
Mm. But should we? Do you want to say a little something about what your opener is going to be, and then we can head into it?
You surely won't expect it the 5th time. Yeah. So the opener basically is 2 salvagers on RUs here, 2 on CUs. Retire the base runner. Build 2 salvagers from the PC and the carrier. Which I think in this first game I'm a little bit late off the PC, but that's okay. You get Sandskimmer Fab right after that, and then you get Rail Fab immediately. I think you can get 1 long distance miner, and lots of skimmers. That's basically the plan.
And my plan here is this AV rush I mentioned, which is you start. I might be doing it incorrectly, I'm not sure, but you start LAV tech immediately. You put
I can
your
already see it on the
salvagers-
queue, yeah. Look at that.
Yeah, you put all your miners on you. Box select 1, put it on RU. Then I think I tried to do quick drops, but with CUs, but I realized actually the BR retires in time, so you just use the money from it. But yeah, I think we can, as a game says, start game.
Start the game already! Alrighty. Okay, I'll give you the countdown then. 3, 2,
Yes.
1, go. And we are off. So as you can see, base runner retires immediately. Gonna send that probe out.
And same on my side, BR retires, 1 goes on CUs. Yeah, I'm trying the drop-offs, but it's not really working. The BR retires before I have money for salvagers by the drop-offs.
I know you have kind of a little awkward 185, but that's probably gonna be okay.
Yeah, it's fine. And your carrier has the... no, your PC has the good rotation for the salvagers to pop out. Actually, one thing is that
I kind of dragged it a
PCs
bit, yeah.
Yeah. Well, PCs spawn their units so freaking slow. It's actually...
They do.
It's quite impactful, I think, even.
Yeah, I've always noticed this. It's very annoying. It makes a big difference when you're doing these kind of like early game builds here. AV Fab is already on the queue here, so this is very fast, like before the 1 minute mark. That'll be finished at like 28, 25 or something, right? So.
And yeah, something like that. No, not 25, more like 15, I think. This is patch where I think the research time
No, it's like
is
25. Look at it. That's freaking
Oh,
fast.
really?
Yeah.
But one nice thing with this build is that you don't have to do manual RU drop-offs, which is always a little space to mess up things, because you're also trying to do CU drop-offs sometimes. Yeah, one scouting LAV from me, first skimmer from Bozocow coming out, and this LAV is mostly just to get an idea of what's going on.
Because, you know, you don't have the probe, right? So,
Yeah,
obviously...
exactly.
And me seeing
Um,
this LAV, I should actually already know that something is up. I was a little bit off in my mind games here. Like, I should be like, okay, there's an LAV here, that means there's no probe, so clearly he's not doing SC first. I need to back away, get some space, and then utilize
yeah.
the range advantage that I'm going to have.
Yeah, and I see the production cruiser, and I know it can be rails. I need to get on top of this production cruiser immediately. I'm gonna produce two AVs. Both of them I have going for the PC. I build one, but I'm gonna send towards main just in case it's AS, and then I want to counterattack.
Right.
But for now, I just want to try and like get on top of this as much as possible.
As for me, I think moving up onto this high ground is a big mistake because I can get surrounded. If I just backed away, like down toward where that artifact is, right?
Yeah.
I think this is looking a lot better for me.
Yeah, I realized I could I could actually shoot for a little while with my second AV there, but I realized when you moved up to the high ground that I can actually just try and surround. It doesn't work out because you move back south, which I think is a good move. But now that it's rails, I pull my third AV over to the fight because I realized, hey, this is where it's gonna happen.
Armor 1's already been tech free as well. Now, that's kind of a critical mistake for me there. I have the rail really close, and so my railgun keeps like turning and it's not able to shoot at you.
Yeah.
I don't know if that would have made a huge difference, but I can kind of see the writing on the walls now. I'm like, this isn't going to be good.
Yeah, and I was able to pull back the weakened AV.
Oh, I missed.
I have 3 AVs. Oh, that's a brutal miss. But yeah. 4 AVs. GG.
Yeah, so...
That was a lot of talking for a very short game.
Indeed. And you talked about setting the tone for the series, right? I think that does it pretty much better than anything else he could have done, right? Like, 3.5 minutes in, it's game over, so... That's gotta be a feels bad moment for me.
Yeah, and I think as the Galsen player here, as soon as you see that first LAV, you know something is up.
Yeah.
There is definitely something up. If you see a second LAV, then you know it's more normal. But if you don't, then you gotta be running away with that PC. Just run for the freaking hills.
And you can come back, right? Like the rail rush is still on because actually this is gonna be great against AAVs, but yeah, you've got to know, like, look, he doesn't have a probe to scout clearly, so he retired his BR. That means it's aggro of some kind, and I mean, what kind of aggro is it going to be? It has to be AVs almost.
So A-Game is saying I make 3 LAVs with my AV rush. I think that's because he puts, I think he gets a salvager before LAV tech, which delays his AV tech by like 5 seconds. Which was actually very impactful in this game. Having that earlier AV tech, so I can only get 2 long distance miners for my natural and 1 LAV. Then I can't produce anything without eating into AV production time. But I feel like not so much for the like aggression versus defense, but for the potential of a rail rush, it is so important that your first AV is as fast as possible.
Definitely. Well, are you loaded into tight end passage?
I am still loading.
Fix your PC, mate.
Yeah.
This is what I was talking about, by the way. People can see it on my screen now about the space behind the other opponent's carrier, right? Like, look at this like massive place that I can go to here.
And it's freaking high ground. How is that?
Yes, yeah. If you get behind him, you have high ground now. I don't think it's quite the same on.
Like I can't.
Oh no, yeah, it's the same on the other side.
I can't even like when I see this map from like top down. I'm like, what is high ground? What is life? I don't even know. Are we human? Are we dancer? Fucking, I don't know.
Amazing. Man, just imagine the day when we finally figure out how to make custom maps. I'm gonna go crazy.
By the way, Bozo, I think your mic is cutting out at parts. I don't know if your threshold is set low,
Hmm.
but if you have this Discord settings up, you might want to check it. But
Sure.
otherwise,
You guys can tell me on stream if that happens in the video. Otherwise, it's probably just
it
on
might yeah,
going
it
through
might just be
Discord. Yeah.
Discord. Yeah, hopefully not in OBS, which I assume you're using for the
Indeed. Yeah.
kicker casting. Yeah,
It's Discord. Okay. I'll solve it later. Then it's probably okay.
yeah,
All
should be
right.
fine. I usually get the gist.
Sick nasty. So you're at 29.55.
Yes.
Alrighty. 3, 2, 1, go. So, like I said, a
Alright.
lot is riding on this probe getting sniped by the BR this game. Which is probably silly, I don't know, but I don't know if this is really a good idea. If it works, though, like I said, this is going to be just terrible for Descara, so that's definitely what I had in mind.
It's cheeky enough, but I like it. But
Yeah.
it's kind of reckless as well.
Sure. But, you know, I kind of like throwing stuff like this into the games. It's easy to say if it succeeds, like, oh yeah, this was a good move. It's easy to say if it fails, like, oh, this was a terrible idea. But
Yeah.
I like that kind of thing sometimes, so...
But yeah, again mentions weird movement of the like AV. It worked for a while. Then I realized, okay, I need to A, look at my probe at all times, or and B, when I'm not looking at it, which is, well, not all the time, but because I need macro, then I need to send it to a safe space. I can't let it be somewhere that a PC or a VR could catch up to it.
I can't.
Can't. But yeah, SE first from me, probe goes out.
Here comes the probe.
I'm actually confused. If the probe died to the VR right now, this might be game over. Because I see the scanner, and I know this should normally mean macro.
And you can see me like frantically moving the PC out of the way, like, no, get out of there, go!
Because the more efficient rushes has the BR retire for more money. But yeah, I'm like, okay, that PC is really far forward. It's like 90% a rush at this point. I wanna make sure that he's actually still going in, but yeah, at this point I'm very, very sure. And you can see me getting railgun. If this was eco, I would be getting AV tech. And I stopped at 1 salutaire for my natural, actually.
So this is all very textbook, very good play from Descara. Like, your probe micro is just godly. I remember in vanilla, you literally just could never kill a Descara probe. It was unreal. And this is going to help you a lot in this game.
RNG. Sometimes you just insta-kill it.
Sure.
Vanilla, that is.
Oh, probe is
so
going to die
tricky.
now. But like you said, you already
it's
knew. You already knew it was going to be a rush, so the information is given.
It's a second probe, but we keep fighting for so long that the 150 RUs is fine to spend. But yeah, spamming some LEVs. I still feel like I want to get one more salve for my nat to have more of a, you know, the advantage of going SE first. But
you're probably right to
VR
keep making LAVs because you know that there's going to be rails coming up soon. You gotta, you know, you gotta be ready for that.
Yeah, like I don't want to have to pop a really early turret, but my BR is in position to do it if I need to.
Now this is really not where I want to be fighting. Like ideally, I want to get up over the high ground before he sees me. So again, like I was banking a lot on that probe not dying, but I can still get in. You know, I can make progress.
Yeah. And from my POV, I was quite confused what this was. Was this some weird like skimmer fake out? You can see me putting down a turret because I think maybe he doesn't get tech at all. Maybe he just spams skimmers and gets upgrades or some shit. Because this is really weird movement.
You know, here's an interesting idea. What if I did the same thing? You see I have another PC queued up behind this. But instead of making any heavy rails, I just got ref mode and just like got up onto 2 base and then like backed away.
Yeah, it could be good, but
that'd be interesting.
I would have to. That would trigger me being, or like, have me being more confused and probably sending out probe. If that probe would die.
To the BR, yeah. I mean, it worked so well last time.
But you can even see me rotating my carrier because I really don't want to have my SC take damage. Trying to pull it back the railgun so the final shot doesn't land. I think if you still had vision, you would have gotten that railgun. Pullback wasn't quite fast enough.
I should stick around. I can kill this salvager. Well, maybe I'm taking too much damage by that turret.
Yeah, I don't
One thing for sure, though, I got Sandskimmer rating here. That probably was a mistake. If I had the money for ref mode and I could get that now, getting the carrier active just a little bit sooner, that's going to be probably more impactful here. And a lot is riding on the artifacts getting extracted, which they are being right now. So.
Yeah, I don't think rating is very worthwhile, because essentially what your skimmers want to do, because you won't break me now with skimmers. I've got one turret, a carrier, and I think, yeah, I have another turret off cooldown. So, yeah, this is, you don't need the rating to do anything.
Yeah, you're probably correct.
I
was getting kind of triggered here about my rails, like, just not wanting to shoot, but what you gonna do?
Yeah. Yeah, I think, I agree with A-Game that you have to realize that you can't really get damage, because see, I even got the production upgrade, so I can produce...
Yeah, eventually you're going to overpower me with LAVs here too, right?
Yeah. I think I might set down another turret at some point just so I can build more railguns, because I like to... Yeah, I'm double producing railguns.
Range calibration, maybe you could do something here, but it's probably not advisable. I have damage 1 coming out on the skimmers now.
Yeah, and the only reason I'm not pushing in is just I'm so afraid of the high ground. I'm afraid of like engaging in a railgun fight and like you having an HR pop out at the most opportune time, but you are actually super low in railgun count. So
I'm actually fleet capped too. But it looks like you figured out now, so you're gonna come in and take the rail fight.
Yeah, I take one for one.
Go down. Now again, the PC needs to be running here. I don't know what he's doing.
Yeah, like I don't have the LAV number, so I can't force you out yet, because I'm relying on turrets here, which is my preferred playstyle, because my LAV micro is so shit. But yeah, you're in a really bad spot right now.
And again, the carrier's moving out, but if I hadn't gotten rating and instead just focused on ref mode first, this would have been happening sooner. Maybe I could have pushed you off of your second a little bit faster and then distracted some of the rails. And that would have been good. That would have been maybe, maybe winnable.
You got two railguns on that poke, which means actually the resources lost is almost balanced here. And I realized right about now, like, why is he sticking around? And I think I'm gonna send my probe out at some point. I should have sent this probe out like 2 minutes ago. I just wanted it for extra cheeky vision, but yeah, it's hella late.
But yeah, imagine if I was on 2 base here, actually. I could easily have done that, couldn't I? Oh my gosh, this salvager dropped off at the carrier.
Yeah, bad times.
Here we're going to take a fight here, but this is probably not going to go my way.
Yeah. Like, my upgrades are non-existent on my LAVs, and you have some damage upgrades, which I think is what allowed you to even trade at all favorably.
But at this point, you know, you can see that the PC is going to die here. I might even be accidentally teleporting units, I'm not sure. Yeah. Oh my gosh, I can't rotate. No, it looks like it's not, but...
But yeah, you're backed into a corner. I realized I pulled my natural to my main. I realized I only really need railguns to stay safe now, so just spamming out tons of railguns.
This will be the classic descara thing. He'll have like 5 million railguns, so... And I think the units lost tab kind of says it all too. You know, I'm down by like 1,000 CUs, so...
Yeah, like, you had quite decent trading for a while, but now it's just, yeah, not great. And there's no BR around. This is a bad move by me. I think I'm curious, like, did you somehow manage to squeeze in a second PC? That's what I'm looking for here. But I
So the probe flies over the base burner, yeah.
Yeah, and I should have just stuck around and gotten a few more shots on your carrier.
Artifact extraction is pretty clutch too there. I managed to stop you from getting that one out, so that's good for me, but I mean, my chances of getting 2 more extracts out are pretty rare. I almost did this against A-Game on my stream right before our games today, but it didn't work there either. It was close, but it didn't work.
Yeah.
So now I continue to tech Sandskimmer upgrades. My idea is, okay, well, he's got rails. If I can kill the rails, maybe I live here, but...
Yeah, and
it's gonna be tough.
The only thing holding me back are my LAVs aren't far enough on the field because they had to stick around to kill that PC, so I can't just completely YOLO in.
Yeah.
Because that could lose me quite a few railguns. I'm not on the AV tech tree, so I can't get armor upgrades.
That is so many railguns. Oh my gosh. 11.
Yeah, I know.
Oh,
I think
man.
this is. Yeah, I think this is that point where I was like at 11 railguns to 7 LAVs or some shit. I saw the carrier and realized, okay, the only way I lose is by taking critical damage from the carrier.
So what's the unit count like now? 17 LAVs and 12 skimmers. Yeah, so you still have the numbers advantage on me. And actually, this many rails can start impacting the fight too, especially when I have armor too. Yeah, anyone that you hit is going to have the armor taken off of them. So.
Yeah, and 1 kill from railguns.
3. I think they got 3.
Yeah, this is the thing. When like railguns get to these ridiculous numbers, you just can't push in without being punished for it.
Yeah. The rail spam is real here. This is a good opportunity to get up on top of you, but I mean, what's it really going to matter?
Yeah, and I started to get some upgrades, so it's not terrible for me anymore. The upgrade situation, and yeah, GG.
Yeah, I see what's happening now, so I just choose to surrender right there.
So
Moving on to game 3, I was feeling a little bit bad about things. I was like, ah, shoot.
Oh no, this is probably gonna be the most tilting game.
Yes, easily. But we'll check it out anyway. I think it's some good fun actually. What happens in like the mid game here?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, there's some stuff in there. Things happen.
Yeah, good question.
Well, I was actually expecting more macro cheese. I think that's one of your strengths, honestly. The ability to switch between Russia's macro cheese and do mind games with that, like weird PC movement where I don't really know. Like, I can say, okay, the PC on the field, so it's a rush, but I need to verify that. Otherwise, I would fall way behind versus a macro cheese.
Yeah.
So yeah, I wasn't expecting. I mean, I was definitely aware it was a high chance of rush in this third game, but I wasn't 100% sure at all. Actually, I was kind of leaning him to like, okay, surely he has to like try one macro game in a series.
And you know, actually, I was thinking to myself, let's try like a double fake here. That's why I'm moving my PC to the second, but I was like, it's not really like time. By the time his probe comes out, I need to have my units already, so that's not going to work. But I was like, what if I can get him to think that I'm faking a rush but not doing it, but then actually do a rush anyway? But that's a little bit too deep. I don't know if that's really possible, so...
I think hiding units, etc., like versus A-Game and actually versus you as well, I've started hiding my base runner in the corner, corner of the map, just to not, for the scanner, the eventual scouting scanner from the Gaussian, not to be able to see the VR and to know, okay, was it a weird retire?
Like, okay, he retired VR, I guess, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I think every single little piece of information you can withhold is so valuable.
I was really hoping I could kill Probe here. If that was the case, maybe I could have gotten away with it, because you had seen a skimmer, hadn't you? Yeah, that's kind of a tell, right? Like, you know it's going to be ref mode there. If I had killed the probe, I would have considered going ref mode back into macro. If I had killed the probe, I would have considered like keeping the rush going, and like maybe you're just confused, but...
Alright, so I'm at 29:55.
Oh my gosh, I've already started the game. I'm such a pleb, dude. Here, let's just restart it then, that'll be fine.
Dude, you didn't do the countdown.
I totally forgot about the countdown. That's why I'm talking about, shooting the probe down and stuff. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I'm
I'm
like,
so
shouldn't we?
good at what I do, man. I'm so good at what
Yeah,
I
I
do.
was like, Bozocow, shouldn't we like start the game?
Incredible. All right, I'm in the loading
Hey.
screen now.
Yeah, same.
Okay, but you'll see what I meant then about 2K is a real esport. Oh jeez.
I mean, it's very fun, and the demands for mechanics is way lower than SC2, and I actually like that a lot
Yeah.
because it makes these things that we talk about, scouting, information, strategy, mind games, so much more accessible. SC2, like, I think I fell down to Diamond 2 or some shit after not playing for 2 years. I have to spend so much time on mechanics. There's no point for me to scout. I could just get better by improving my mechanics until Masters 3 or some shit.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Oh my gosh, I did it again. So I'm at 29:30 right now. Tell me when you get there.
Stop.
Yeah, tell me when you get to 29:30, and then we'll start
Oh
from there.
my god.
Jeez,
See,
man.
I'm the one who's drunk a half bottle of wine during this cast, whereas
I just I've eaten too many Reese's. Okay, I have like a pile of wrappers on my desk.
Okay, did you say 29, 30,
30.
or 13?
30. Yeah. 30.
Okay, 3-0. 3-0.
Yup.
Yes, okay.
30.
There, yeah, 30.
Okay, 3,
Yeah.
2, 1, go. Okay. Now we can get things kicked off. Let me just like speed it up so we're still at a different place.
Please no.
So yeah, Skimmer Feb starts for me. The BR is retired. And the scanner is out pretty early too.
Yeah.
A-Game mentioned kind of my weird scanner positioning last game. I've discovered that your opponent knows if you put the scanner down early, and you sometimes don't get any additional information from it. If I put a scanner that can get vision on the second base, but it's not visible from their main, then I can get information about if they're doing SC first, and I don't have to guess about, you know, like what's going on. But at the same time, he doesn't see that I'm scouting him, so.
Yeah. It doesn't scout AV, but if he's playing aggressive, I think that's fine. And carrier rush would be also quite visible if you're aggressive. I'm just going off what A-Game is saying in chat.
Yeah.
If he was playing eco, it would definitely be a weird scanner placement, I think. Which adds to the, okay, you could maybe read it's actually eco from this.
Probe gets out there with 32 HP, that's what I was talking about there. So it's close, right?
Yeah. Yeah, actually, you're moving back the PC actually really helped to put the mind game. Wait, sorry, I read mind game to put damage on the probe.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, you see, because of the move out, I stop at one salve on the natural.
Railfab's on the way. BR's ready to set down a turret.
Yeah, on this awkward fucking Dune. Actually, this one is not so bad, now that I think about it. But yeah.
Although I wonder, maybe with no Railfab and I go straight to ref mode, maybe something can be done, but the probe is coming into rescout, so I mean, either way it's gonna be tough. Probe dies.
I really want to get that confirmation, and it's totally worth it for the probe to die after the low HP.
Yeah.
And because I'm getting a second salvager, I'm not pumping LAVs, I feel the need to put down the turret.
Now, I was under the impression, and by the way, I'm fleet capped here, so I have to get that, which delays the EMP rounds a little bit, but I was under the impression that the EMP rounds would stop the turret from shooting, and so I was like, okay, this is gonna be sick. I'm gonna just like mess him up. I'll drive the PC in first, get him to tank like maybe a volley. The heavy rail will fire EMP onto the turret, and then we'll just go ahead, weed it out, and then, you know, YOLO.
Yeah.
Press on to victory, right?
I still think it's a bit YOLO because I have faster LAV production than you have skimmers, but I'm actually just gonna go up to 5, which we already have, and then go for railgun. But yeah, you see.
So there's the tank on the PC. Turret gets EMP'd, but it didn't do anything.
And this is just a feels bad moment. Like I felt bad.
You saw what I was going for, you know, like, oh.
Yeah, and I'm like,
I'm sorry, man.
and I'm like, oh shit, he's going for that. Oh shit, I'm winning this fight. This isn't how I want this to go. Man.
LAV armor getting tech now by descara, that's interesting.
Yeah.
So really just want to win the LAV fight, yeah.
Yeah, I realized I'm winning the LAV fight. My BR was kind of out of position. I think he could have won that Strikecraft fight, Shrike in chat. Maybe if I was in position to plop a second turret, I would have won that fight, but yeah.
Yeah, here's the second turret though. This is just sloppy for me getting hit by this. I EMP the turret again. I don't know what I'm thinking there. No, it looks like I canceled it. I do manage to catch these LAVs though, which is nice, but pushing in here is probably a mistake. After all, they can still shoot even if they're EMP'd, so...
Yeah, that's the thing. That's what I think the so-called bug about turret is, that I think it just halts movement or something. Because my LAVs could still fire while EMP'd. Alright. So yeah, good hold. What's your follow-up?
So I already have a second PC on the way, so my follow-up idea is just go straight into ref mode here, see if we can make a 3-base play out of this. And then die to air, but air doesn't end up coming in this game, so I was happy about that.
It's super awkward to go air off of railgun defense. It takes so much time. I think you're actually, like, if you do one PC anything and the response is rails, then you're actually very safe for for air for a very long time.
Yeah.
It will take so much time for a collision to get onto air. And I'm actually getting the second production or the second production slot because I'm kind of scared of being outnumbered in Strikecraft numbers, and
which is fair. That's actually that's what's gonna happen here. I think it's worth noting to the people in chat. Actually, Galzine units can't shoot when they get EMP'd. So coalition ones can, but Galzine ones can't. So like if ALMs stun you, you can't shoot while you're getting stunned.
ALMs are different. I think they're different from stun, from the EMP stun.
I'm pretty sure EMP is the same way. We could test it maybe after this if you want. But...
Yeah, we should test it at some point. But yeah, I think it's just a different effect.
Okay, yeah, maybe that's not true then.
But yeah, my plan kind of backfires to me on me because you will actually recuperate some of your like eco disadvantage by getting up to 3-base quicker. Whereas I'm so scared of skimmer numbers and the potential for like really upgraded skimmers, which are quite good versus LAV unpatched, that I'm like,
You know, it's funny here. I accidentally on stream said like I'll kill his turret now, and I was like, I mean his base turret, and then write down to set down a turret, and I was like, well, you know,
yeah,
it's basically what that thing is. It's just like a turret machine.
I thought it was fewer skimmers ahead of the pack than it actually was, so I thought that turrets would be worth it. But yeah, that was totally not a worthwhile turret.
Oh yeah, that was calculated, man. I did that on purpose.
Yeah. Like, a big thing that Coalition players do is just put down too many freaking reactive turrets.
Yeah, like it doesn't do anything. If it's just gonna die, you know, don't do it, right?
Yeah, like don't put down turrets while units are moving at you, unless you have other units there. It's just gonna die.
These are probably bad trades for me.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh dear, look at the units lost tab. Ew.
Yeah, because I'm actually upping upgrades because you went for rating before
armor, yeah.
Yeah. So I do have 2 armor on you.
So that's probably a mistake for me. I've been getting damaged really frequently these days, but I think, yeah, in this kind of fight, I probably want to get armor first. If I already know I'm below on tech.
Like, if you need to take the fight, then raiding is better, or is good at least, because it allows you to close the distance.
Yeah,
but in these standoffish fights, it's, I think you want armor. And yeah, I agree with Shrike in chat that just, what is high ground on this map?
Yeah, I mean, if you're looking top down, you can't really see it. Like, once you drop the camera, it's like, okay, I can see it now, but it's difficult to know.
It's so uncomfortable to play from that angle. I'm just like, if I want to go back in macro, I'll just be like, what's this upside down, topsy-turvy world?
Yeah. I'm gonna say, like, if we end up, you know, with the capability of making our own custom maps, they all have to just be flat, you know what I mean? And then, like, have terrain coming off of flat, you know?
Yeah.
Like, none of this trash, you know what I mean?
You can see I'm taking a break from the engagement here because my macro is really suffering. My SE was misrallied. My salvagers weren't on the third, which is like now I'm recuperating that advantage you got back on me for a short while.
Yeah. I'm just trying to like buy time while the honor guard pops out. Now I attacked honor guards here because obviously there's mass LAV, and I know that rails are gonna follow. And honor guards are just good against all of these units. But getting them out is difficult, you know?
Yeah, and I think I'm pretty much winning the game at this point, and I'm like, okay, the only thing that can screw me over now is actually honor guard. So I actually, for once, don't mind this tech rush. This is the one tech rush that you can do, in my opinion.
And now that we've got range too, kind of similar to how it is when we're fighting with assault rails, we can kind of pick you off when you poke in, but the damage is done. I mean, there's one salvager left on the second base, so I need to rebuild my eco like hardcore now.
Oh shit, I didn't realize I killed that many salvagers.
Yeah, so things are bad here.
I thought I only killed the third base salvagers.
That was a godly split, by the way, like only one LAV dies there.
Yeah, I'm like, oh shit, I got a micro. Things I hate, microing. Maybe SC2 is the game for me, just mechanics. I mean, I do play Zerg, so there is that.
Mag accelerator on the way, and you're gonna take AVs as well. I mean, I think the reason is obvious. Although you've sunk so many upgrades, like so much money in upgrades now, I'm sure you'll stick with these LAVs.
Painful, but I realized actually I think this 2 BR in the production queue for me is really greedy. I think I should have cancelled them. I thought about cancelling them for earlier AVs because I think it's actually quite greedy. Because right now I'm thinking, okay, I can win this, or I can still push the advantage if I do a really strong mid-game push. But by getting those BRs, I'm actually delaying that mid-game push quite a bit.
And you see me backing off here too, it's because I was like, well, certainly air comes now, right? I'm just getting cold feet about that. So I actually end up taking Honor Guard anti-air in just a moment here, I think.
Because I was really close to going air.
Yeah.
So I think this is one of the few blind AA techs that I don't mind, because you would be dead to it. It's like, okay, it's not fun to get, but yeah. And I don't mind you backing off because I still had the like strikecraft numbers.
And I can pick him off with the HGC, but if rails kill it, you know, that's game right there. So.
But yeah, I realized, okay, so yeah, I got this freaking BR, so I gotta do what BRs do and capture. But you can see that both of us have really shitty resource splits. You're stacking 775 RUs, I'm stacking 500. That's not.
It's true, it's true.
Sentiment to how strikecraft grinded this game is. This is not how I want to play. I don't want to have all these LAVs eating up.
I really want to kill that BR too, but I can't do it. So I lose quite a few units on that push there, which is probably just a typical Bozo throw, you know. I see high value targets and I'm just like, kill it.
Yeah, I think actually, yeah, that's a recurring thing. I think you sometimes gotta realize that this is not working. I can't push the advantage, or like the advantage that used to be, or I can't get this unit right now. I need to fall back and just kind of hunker up.
Heavy rail is going to start popping out here. Now I have the EMP upgrade, so I need to remember that. I don't think I used it even once at this stage of the game. That could maybe have changed things, but...
That's true, and I'm really scared of the high ground here. It's so awkward to engage from where my army is.
LAV's going to get honor guarded.
Dude, they do deny some mining, but yeah, not a great time. But I'm anyway like, LAVs, I hate you. Mid-game, please.
You guys could just go die anyway.
And you see here when I realize how awkward it is to fight in that area of the map, I'm just like, I need the high ground. That's all this map is about.
Okay, look at this. So I turn on the anti-air to kill this probe here, and I cannot kill this probe. Like, it gets so close, and yet it won't die.
This is not a no game probe. Let's be real. I'm not microing this probe. Not
No.
at all. I'm just like double probe for some mission. Let's go.
But that's fine. LAV threat basically neutralizes, only one left. I don't care about him.
I just want to point out that I'm at 15 railguns at this point.
Yeah, I mean, taking a fair fight here is like, it's not going to work. So I have to make this fight be really convincing if it happens.
Yeah.
I think I can snipe this artifact though with my skimmers. That should be pretty easy. Rail armor 3 coming out for me, which is nice.
But the thing is, I don't know about this rail armor, because I think you should... Yeah, I think you should get more HGCs, because you have 3 railguns on the field. You're buying one
That's
more
true.
shot to kill on each of these 3.
Yeah, I guess that's
not
true.
Worth.
Yeah.
That's not worth it. I guess it kind of spent some of your RUs, but yeah, I think that was kind of not worth it.
Take that, probe.
That's the probe. But yeah, I'm like, okay, I have this kind of quasi-high ground here. You need to fall back and get the... Yeah, I think you need to fall back here, because I have this potential high ground if we start engaging here. And
Yes, that's true, and that's what you're gonna move out for too. The thing is, I still have EMP on these railguns, so if I had remembered about this, look at this juicy little spread here. Like, I'd be...
Yeah,
this would be like damage central, you know?
Still, I'm like kind of splitting my rails, not a lot, but like doing some micro to do it. But I'm like... But at this point, I'm like, okay, coalition production, show me what you got. Let's just throw these units into the fray.
I like what you got. I should also be probably splitting here, you know, a little bit more flocking, but...
Yeah, but
that probably would have saved one of the HGCs, but
yeah.
These are dire times. I do clear out all the rails, but these AVs are just still alive and well.
Yeah, and I think if the...
I didn't notice, maybe.
And you can see me, like, this is how much I fear HDCs, by the way. I powered up, I got a second or a third production sport cruiser and powered up my carrier, because I was like, fuck, I hate fighting this unit.
I mean, AAVs, they counter HGCs if you get on top of them, but like so does Strikecraft, which is one of the biggest counters that HGCs have is against Strikecraft, but if you get up on top of them, they still wreck, you know what I mean? So this is where I remembered I had EMP rounds, by the way, and I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah, I think it could have done a lot if you EMP'd there. That would have done so much damage. Like one source of AoE in DOK is good, but 2 sources is so freaking good.